Good day to all our viewers, dialysis professionals. We are back. Nephlearn is again here with another podcast, the third in a series of podcasts that we have held so far. If you remember, the first was with Kishore, a dialysis technician, and the second was with Mr. Sagar, in whom he described the way he manages 135 Apollo Center dialysis units. And today we are back with another podcast. So, what is the theory behind or the idea behind these podcasts? Well, when we talk and interact with so many dialysis professionals, we've realized that you have so many stories to tell us and interesting ones. And that's why at Nephlearn we want to bring these stories out for everybody to see and everybody to enjoy. Our guest speaker is someone who is very well versed in nephrology. He is one of the most senior nephrologists in Vidarbha, not only in Nagpur. And I'm talking about Dr. V.L. Gupta. He is ex-HOD of the Super Speciality Hospital of Nagpur. And he has so many credentials to his name, MNMA, AS, MD Medicine of course, and so many more which I can't even remember and I can't even tell you about. It would be best if you hear from him. Let me tell you viewers, if you remember the year 1971, were you even born back then? I wasn't, or rather I was just, well, let me be honest. And in these last 50-55 years, Sir has actually started doing dialysis in 1971. And that's a long period. So he has seen a sea of changes. And so let's hear today from our very important guest and VIP guest, Dr. V.L. Gupta sir. First of all, I would like to thank sir for being here with me today on this podcast because it is an honor for me absolutely and for all of Vidarbha that sir is going to share his memories with us. So thank you sir. I welcome you to this program of podcast on Nephlearn.
Thank you. And great.
So,
and I reciprocate.
Thank you, sir.
I am really thankful to you and feel privileged to be interviewed by a person who is working on a very novel ideas to improve the outcomes of dialysis.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
And my heartfelt gratitude to you. I had a really humble beginning, and in the period, in the time where the dialysis was to be done, and somehow dialysis was to be delivered. During these 5 decades that have lapsed since then, we have now come to a point where we are talking about quality issues in dialysis. And rightly so, you are working on this very important aspect of quality issue, addressing quality issues in dialysis. Why I'm saying so? Because this is the right time to start deliberating on what quality issues we can address and improve the outcome of dialysis.
Yes,
See, sea change that has occurred over 5 decades is initially our goal was to somehow perform dialysis and tell people, look, this facility is available and now we can do dialysis.
I know.
That was it.
Yes.
But now we have come to a point where we are talking about the quality issues, improving the outcome of dialysis,
Correct.
delivering patients quality dialysis.
Yes.
Because dialysis delivery and quality dialysis delivery depends on the economics of the nation.
Right.
Where can we provide them logistics,
Correct.
infra, human resources, trained personnel,
Yes.
and address other quality issues in a holistic approach.
Right.
So ultimate outcome of dialysis, that time has come. That time has come because people have become more aware of dialysis being delivered, a good dialysis being delivered. More and more people are opting for dialysis. More people are there. The fear of getting dialyzed
Is
is
gone.
somehow winning.
Correct.
And so more people are voluntarily getting into the dialysis program. So my compliments and heartfelt admiration and appreciation to you,
Thank you, sir.
Ashwini, for working on this very aspect.
Thank you, sir.
In 1971-72, if I remember correctly,
Yes.
there was no dialysis facility available in Central India at that point in time, right? 72-73. Now, what used to happen is either in end-stage renal failure or disease, you advise these people to go to one of these metros where the dialysis was recently started, like Mumbai,
Okay.
Vellore, Chennai,
Yes.
these cities, Delhi and things
Correct.
like that. Or, so accessibility was problem. Very few people actually took on to travel to Mumbai or metros like that. There are
Yes.
own problems and own difficulties.
Yes, sir.
Or tell them that, look, we can't do anything more to this patient, and
Say sorry.
if you can't access dialysis unit and nephrology services, pray to God, like any end-stage disease, like malignancy or things like that, where outcome is sealed.
Right.
Well, and this was a with very heavy heart we used to
We used to
tell
tell
the
the
relatives
patients.
and counsel them.
Right, sir.
Let me tell you, the dialysis conceptually started when a drum was rotated in the bath of dialysis by Professor Divander, who used to run the blood. That's how it
Okay.
started. I mean, it's frightening to see that kind of experiment
Okay.
today, because we have now technologically so many much advanced machines
Right.
who and they are so aesthetically good looking that you
So
feel love and affection about
If
it.
you see our room right now where we are sitting, how
Yeah.
would you describe the dialyzer? Was it as big as this room or something smaller?
Now, exactly, I think this room fortunately is of the same size. We started dialysis unit in
Okay.
slightly bigger, right? And the dialysis unit used to consist of a dialyzer, which was at that point in time called as kill dialyzer,
Keel dialyzer.
which was mounted on a trolley.
Oh,
It was 1 meter length
okay.
and used to be on separate trolley.
Wow.
Now the problem with this dialyzer was that we used to prepare dialyzer, means what? There
Means?
was a plastic kind of boards, special plastic kind of boards, and two boards used to contain two compartments of cellophane membrane.
Okay, the actual cellophane membrane.
Actually, the membranes were packed in another big
Kind of.
carton.
Uh-huh.
We used to remove two membranes and create a compartment and seal it with PVC board.
Okay.
And the screws were so that you have to make it tight and tight and tight, so tight that it becomes airtight. Right?
Okay.
So the problem is the air should not creep in the
Acha.
blood compartment, right?
Yes.
There was another cellophane membrane compartment, so two compartments,
Okay.
two blood ports, right? Now the preparation of dialysis used to take maybe 1 hour or 1.5 hours or 2 hours.
Okay.
At the end of dialysis, the dialyzer was prepared. You need to test it for an air leak,
Oh, how?
right? You should run the dialysis fluid and find out if there is a leak anywhere, right? With the fluid.
Okay.
If there is a leak, then you have to redo it.
Oh, again 1.5 hours.
So the dialysis preparation used to start at the previous evening, right? And the dialysis was foolproofly ready. By the time we used to be ready with dialysis, the early morning used to set in, and then there is the dialysis, right?
Okay, so earlier day you would start the preparation.
Yes.
Next day
Night,
dialysis.
previous night. Because there was no time. No? You never know whether dialysis will the dialyzer will have a leak or no. Then you have to redo it.
Right, right.
There was a monitor which was hanged on a wall. Used to have a venous pressure,
Acha.
the
Transmembrane pressure?
no venous pressure,
Okay,
simply
venous
venous
pressure.
pressure, and then the blood flow.
Blood flow rate.
Used
Okay.
to demonstrate blood flow.
Okay.
And then the third was, I think, the dialysis flow.
Dialysis flow, right now.
Now, this monitor had a tubing which used to be connected to a blood pump,
Okay.
which was a separate entity.
Acha, separate unit.
It was not incorporated in the machine.
Okay.
And used to, like those three axes, used to move continuously and pump the blood into the dialysis, right? There was a big PVC tank, maybe, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 liters tank, placed on a stand, and where the dialysis was manually prepared. You put ingredient in the dialysis, see conductivity, then like that halwai person do preparing mithai and all that, used to blah blah. So there was another person on duty there
Okay.
doing this.
Yeah. Sir, I have seen a washing machine picture or a photograph before in which dialysate was prepared. Is that true? I mean, did
Yeah,
they really
that's
do it?
true. All experiments, all inputs, innovative ideas were incorporated.
Okay.
And then we used to put an UV light
Okay.
focused on this fluid
For
which was there
sterilization.
to sterilize.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And then that dialysis was pumped into the dialysis compartment.
Okay.
The blood was pumped separately
Huh.
with the help of that blood
Okay.
pump. So there is another motor or pump which used to pump the dialysis.
Dialysate.
There was another pump which to pump the blood inside. So
Okay.
there are two pumps separately working connected to the power supply. Right. Now, this was a setup. Now, as I told you, that there was no um, um, facility of detecting the air leak,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Or even a blood leak.
Blood leak, yeah. There was no sensor.
So, Professor Chaubey, and we used to get a goosebump during dialysis. You see, start perspiring and see how it goes. It was like an Herculean effect of efforts of everybody was there. Minimum 6 to 8 persons were there.
Oh my
in a
gosh.
dialysis.
Room full of people.
Right. Now, no sooner dialysis starts, your job was to shoot heparin. There was no heparin pump attached, naturally. You can't imagine that day. So a person with the heparin syringe was to stand ready. And then the senior most person, initially Dr. Chaubey or later on me for that example, used to shout, shoot! As soon as the blood comes, used to shoot heparin. You see?
Okay.
The shooting heparin, then that's how the heparinization was done.
Okay.
And then if somehow the blood, the air bubble creeps in, there was another person ready with 2 RP forceps, trying to catch that,
air bubble.
I used to travel with the tube and then say how to get rid of this, either aspirate that or take it to the bubble trap attached to the blood tubing and remove the bubble. There was a third person who used to collect the outlet dialysate in the beaker and see whether there is a blood in there.
Oh, that was a blood detector.
Detector. So, this goes on. Imagine the populace, the people who were involved in doing dialysis.
Right.
And the kill dialyzer was the most primitive kind of dialyzer. And nothing less than 8 hours dialysis. 8 hours dialysis was required. Like you say now with hollow fiber, 4 or 5 hours dialysis is efficient.
Yes.
So they were very least efficient.
Right.
And the total dialysis duration ideally required was 8 hours.
8 hours.
So imagine we started previous night, prepared dialysis,
Yes.
started at maybe 9 or 10 a.m. in the morning, and it used to continue till the evening.
Oh gosh.
Provided there are no
Complications in
complications
between.
involved.
Wonderful. So that must have been a really lot of effort and something.
The technically the problem that the pump used to get hot. The person was deputed to do cold sponging on that pump. So the pump should not stop. So then we arranged another alternative pump so this went on and not very good experience for people who were doing dialysis. Neither it was good for patient also. 8 hours lying on the blood bed,
Right.
uninterrupted, things like. So it was really agonizing.
Okay.
So in that period of time, there were no takers for dialysis. I mean, a lot of people used not to opt for dialysis, seeing that dialysis scenario, right? So agonizing, and this you imagine at least twice or maybe thrice a week. So the man virtually 8 into 3, 24 hours on a machine.
Yes. And so
Provided the things go very smoothly.
Correct.
So this was dialysis we started in 72.
Okay.
And therefore, I thought maybe this is a punishment for me that I am working in nephrology. And look at how I spend my day and whole week doing 3 or 4 dialysis, and then at the end of week tired and frustrated.
Right.
Neither patient is happy nor that I am happy nor the people who are involved they are happy.
They are happy.
So it was not a good scenario. I don't know. And simultaneously we started doing peritoneal dialysis also there.
That had better
That
success.
also had a very primitive setup.
Okay.
Using trocar cannula, which is used to drain hydrocele.
Oh,
We used to punch the abdomen and create our tubings and say use 3-way and do dialysis treat like that. So
okay.
that's how. But then it went on and on and on. And now I realize that my teacher, guide, philosopher, Professor Chaubey had a vision probably for nephrology.
Yes.
And he saw a future that this will be one of the most sought after and lucrative branch in time to come.
Yes.
See, all good things starts in the way we started in dialysis.
Yes.
So gradually, it shaped up. I registered myself for, that time BNB was not there, so I registered myself for MNMS nephrology and went to Bhopal to give theory examination.
Okay.
And but was interrupted because I went to United States for Rockefeller training.
That's right.
Therefore, I have to regroup and do it later. So that was another story. the technology evolved, and the public awareness increased. And the one thing that has increased awareness among the public about dialysis was our Honorable Jai Prakash Narayan, who was put on dialysis.
He was put on dialysis first.
At Mumbai, under Professor Mani. And there used to be media release and bulletin. Look, dialysis done. Yes, please.
A quick question for you viewers. Do you know which all celebrities have been on dialysis in the recent past? Can you name a few of them? I know one, Shami Kapoor, who was from my generation. Sir has just mentioned JP Narayan. Why don't you write down in the section or comments below which all celebrities you know of? There was another one, Mazhar Khan. I don't know if you know him, Zeenat Aman's husband, and so many more. He was also a cricketer. So let's find out if you know anybody. Especially cricketer is the clue here, who is maybe going to go on dialysis or is in CKD stage 2-3. So let's continue with this conversation with
I don't know the name, Vishwanath Pratap Singh.
Oh, VP, yes, Prime Minister of India, correct.
Myeloma kidney.
Yes. I think Lalu Yadav is also.
Lalu Yadav was on dialysis,
yes.
ultimately transplanted.
Yes.
Rohini Acharya, donator of kidney transplant, was performed in Singapore.
Yeah.
Right. So JP popularized dialysis.
Okay.
So people knew that there is something like dialysis which can save kidney failure of patients. So a lot of people came inquiring कि भाई dialysis होता है, हाँ हमारे होता है सब, तो ऐसा है.
Right.
Maybe JP had a better logistic infrastructure at that point in time, and it was done. But he had a lot of problem in AV access.
Okay.
It got blocked, and those fistula stories.
So can you describe some of the machines that you have seen over the years? I think you worked with Cobb Sentry.
Sure.
And
this went down, and I think down the line in early 80s, we had the first compact dialysis machine.
80s?
80 or 82 maybe.
82, okay. About 10 years.
And 10 years down the line.
10 years down the line.
The Sentry 2, which was a compact machine.
Cobb, I think it was called as Cobb Sentry.
And it has virtually the diagrammatic thing will match virtually Fresenius new machines that are coming in market.
Okay.
These machines have a lot of other technological innovations.
Yes.
But then same blood tubing, pump, heparin, etc. We were so happy to see this marvel, engineering marvel coming in, and the whole room setup was dismantled.
You must have done this with you.
Sentry 2 was installed, and I was the first person to use that machine for dialysis. Okay. Then we acquired another Sentry 2, so we had two Sentry 2 machines. So that was really boon at that point in time.
And I think later on in super specialty you had 14 machines.
And I had 17 stations. That was the biggest dialysis station. See, what happened is, then kill dialyzer was replaced by parallel plate dialyzer.
Ah, yes.
We call it as PPD.
PPD.
Okay. Parallel plate. That were in vogue for quite some time. And it was really a discovery of time, because then it did not involve building the dialyzer, testing it, and then the trolley. Yes. This was a slick one, PPD.
Okay.
But PPD was less efficient than hollow fiber, which later on came in to replace PPD permanently.
Correct.
So PPD dialysis used to require about 5 or 6 hours dialysis.
Okay, right. That was better.
So that was better than kill, which 8 hours dialysis. Right. The PPD remained there, and then hollow fiber came as a boon.
Right.
Very small, very slick looking, aesthetic, easy to use. Yeah. And 4 hours dialysis was very efficient. So hollow fiber replaced. That's how dialysis evolved. This went on, Sentry 2 were in use till probably when the nephrology department was separately established in super specialty, with the concept that we start postgraduate courses in nephrology.
Okay.
So I was part of it, and at that point in time, had 17 dialysis stations.
That's quite
and these machines were like Nipro Sardial, some Fresenius, Gambro, and those advanced machines.
Right. Common names that we all know.
And I tell you, I had a honor and I'm privileged to see how dialysis evolved in these 5 decades. Right?
Yes.
So now we see a person who attaches a patient to a machine, and is relaxing, either watching or listening to some classical music, and
Yes.
the dialysis, the machine takes care of safety issues.
Yes.
The most if there's a blood in dialysis or air bubble, it will stop.
All
It will
sensors
warn
are
you,
there.
it will
Yes.
give you all the informations that now you can monitor profile, ultrafiltration, build transmembrane pressure,
Profiling.
monitor sodium, monitor everything,
Yes.
monitor blood pressure, and those issues are solved. So dialysis now has become pleasant as compared to
Experience,
the horrible experience I described
Earlier,
initially.
yes.
And there are more takers for dialysis.
Correct.
This is that's kharab nahi hai. So a lot of people are coming
Yes.
and getting dialyzed. So our population of dialysis patient is on rise.
Right. One patient described it as a magic machine. He said, I didn't know a magic machine existed which could keep me alive for so long.
Right. But then,
So that's
but
another
then there's
perspective.
another aspect. I don't know whether it will be like you develop a dependency on a machine for
Oh,
your
yes.
life.
Yes, that is also
So
true.
this is a culprit which is keeping me. You call it a culprit or you call it a savior or whatever.
Right.
But then they might also blame machine for the agony intermittently they suffer. And they will start fighting with the machine.
Right.
Look, I don't want to do it anymore. So you are the culprit. Now I will see you over there.
Sir,
So these are the
one small funny thing I want to ask you. Most technicians today say, oh no, the nephrologist is on the rounds, right? And then they want to avoid some work or try to, reduce their workload and all that. Did you also behave like this when you were younger? When Chaube sir would come on rounds or something?
No chance.
No chance?
No chance.
Okay.
No chance. Why I'm saying you, he was a person who had all his sixth sense working at the time. He knew what I'm thinking about. And he used to catch it before I could.
Oh no. Do you remember some
This
instant
was
instinct?
he was beyond. I mean, his intelligence and his way of knowing people were beyond perception.
Okay.
So I had really no chance. And I am really thankful to Almighty and to my teacher, Professor Chaube, that he inculcated in me those kinds of discipline.
Discipline. Yeah.
See, I tell you, when I was an associate professor, promoted to associate professor, he used to still think that I am a resident. He used to admit patient in paying ward. And at wee hours in the 1:30 or 2 a.m., and that patient used to be mostly VIP in Nagpur.
Okay.
That means all VIPs used to rush to paying ward.
Okay.
And he used to instruct an operator, telephone operator, inform Dr. Gupta. Right? Now, inform Dr. Gupta that this, sir का phone आया था आपको
बुला रहे.
patient देखना है. I had no dare to tell him that look, I am associate professor.
Professor, no.
I am heading a unit. You call me at 2 a.m. to see a patient. No answer of that kind. And then at that point in time, he said, you have to be more accessible. So he installed 2 PBX connection at my residence. Telephone was a luxury at that point.
Okay.
And about 5 minutes में used to call, sir, patient आ गया.
Oh no, oh no.
जाके पेशेंट को देख के ट्रीटमेंट चालू किया. I used to give him feedback
अच्छा.
in the 6 a.m. तो सर उसको इतना इंसुलिन लगाया है, ये ऐसा
Okay.
So that kind of discipline he inculcated, and never to compromise on patient's front.
Right.
Never to compromise on source documentation. Very
Correct.
important.
Very important.
आपने ब्लड प्रेशर नहीं लिया,
Right.
फाइन गुड, लेकिन लिया और नहीं लिखा,
Not-
this is the double mistake.
Correct.
You've taken recorded blood pressure and now you say you have not mentioned it. This is a crime.
That is it.
So my core teaching comes from we, even in teaching front, we imbibe a lot of his
Yes, sir.
qualities of you see, if you are a good doctor, if you are a good clinician,
Right.
if you are a good internist, you are a good
Right.
nephrologist.
Right.
You are a good cardiologist, you are a good neurologist. If you have nothing at base,
Yes.
no matter whether you did DM or whatever you did,
Right.
DMB,
Right.
it's fruitless to talk about.
Correct.
And this is how we expect that the generations were
Right.
coming in talking about that.
So you have always been keen on teaching.
Yes.
And you have been a teacher all your life. And especially I would like you to mention in 2011 when you first started classes for technicians in Avanti, in the hospital you were in. Can you describe some memories of that? And till date you are always encouraging us that go ahead, do this
See,
course, do this.
I realized later, see, initially there was no concept of dialysis technician.
Yes.
I described you the room scenario.
Correct.
This machine was called as Watson Marlowe. Huh? So,
Okay.
Please remember the name.
What, sir?
That Watson Marlowe dialysis machine. Huh?
Okay.
And kill dialyzer. These are two very
Yes.
important components of the dialysis setup. And at that point in time, 8 people working and continuously Professor Chaube standing till dialysis starts, instructing. Whatever he used to say was a training for us,
Right.
in-house.
Right.
And the residents and nurses used to manage the dialysis show.
Okay.
The only other person who was involved was a biochemist. We had a side lab where we used to do sodium, potassium, urea, and things like that. And he was a person to look after dialysis conductivity and the concentration and things like that. And then we realized as it evolved, the century two, these things, and then came up that the technological workup for preparing for dialysis is technician's domain. Right? And then we realized that he is a most important person in dialysis.
Right.
Therefore, and at that point in time, there were no dialysis training centers
There was nothing.
anywhere in
No syllabus,
Central
no
India,
nothing.
or maybe one or two in South India, and maybe one or two in
Okay.
Western India. So Dhananjay and we were there. We were seeing. I think I must at this point appreciate Dr. Dhananjay Ookalkar. He is a man who sees the future. This man started talking about quality issues in dialysis probably in 2010 or 11 maybe, and we had a session on quality issues in dialysis where I was one of the speakers. So I thought maybe a little premature because we are not geared up to tackle those kinds of issues right in point in time because of issues. But then here was a visionary who saw that quality issues will become important. The dialysis training technician, a trained technician will always be an asset.
An
in your
asset.
dialysis.
That is true.
He is a person who tackles.
Correct.
He is a person who treats immediate issues, side issues, complications. And therefore it modifies the outcome of dialysis. Right?
Yes.
So it is imperative and it is important that we have dialysis training.
Trains.
And he tirelessly worked for it. See, we had no credibility, authentication from stakeholders to start. But then we started. We started just to impact the dialysis outcomes. That okay, fine, we will not get credit, etc.
No, sir.
So he and me started. We started wherever we'll get a space. So maybe in the Avanti basement, maybe in Ashwini Dialysis Kidney. Wherever we get a room, we started. Right? And proud to say that we have trained so many technicians, made them aware and taught them intricacies and technological issues in dialysis programs. So the outcome improves.
Sir, can you tell us something about shunts? You have mentioned Scribner shunt in one article that you sent me to read. How was it? Like today we put needles and it's very easy.
Vascular access was a big problem, right? Even the very crisp double lumen catheter, triple lumen catheters were not
there.
There was hardly any disposable. The only thing that was available was a Quintan-Scribner shunt.
Quintan-Scribner shunt. Okay.
That used to fix one end in the vein, another end in the artery.
Okay.
And the joint used to be outside.
Yes.
Like this.
Metal joints.
Not metal, special PVC. Used to have a vessel tip at the beginning. So the vessel tips were incorporated into the vessel and the joint. Now it was simple to use because you disconnect, tight, connect it to the machine, artery with the artery and vein with the vein and start dialysis. But then the life of Quintan-Scribner was hardly any because they predisposed, they used to be open in wound and exit wound. Get infected. Lot of our patients developed infection, sepsis at that point in time. So it was used to survive. There were not many surgeons in Nagpur and Central India to create good AV fistula. Somebody goes to Bombay and create it. So that was a real issue and we were really fighting. But then with all this scenario used to be a minor problem. You see the vaccine and things like that. Now there are many people who are good surgeons, create good fistula. Even the double movement, we have a pump catheters, we have multiple innovations. So
Correct.
life is not really bad. It has improved.
Yes.
And I really thought this happens.
So friends, we've been listening to Dr. V.L. Gupta sir, who has been with us since this last few minutes, and he has explained so beautifully the room full of dialyzers, the preparation of the patient the earlier night, and so many other things which are interesting. I had only heard of the keel dialyzer and seen pictures and photographs in the books, but today Dr. Gupta sir has brought it alive for me, and I can actually visualize what must have been going on in the room back then during dialysis. And well, technicians, we are important. We are very, very important, as Sir has rightly pointed out. And he's been really regularly after training of many technicians. And with his editorial skills, this book has been published, which is the Handbook of Dialysis for Technicians. Friends, it's a limited edition copy, and if you want, you can contact Sir or you can contact the Nephlearn team. And we
See, I initially working in the firm never thought that the things would be so good after 50 years.
yeah.
And they're going to be better and better as the time evolves. So now probably those who are on dialysis, this is just want to give them some optimism that what is in store for them in future. The dialysis technology is the ultimate best, and it is going to become better and better.
Yes.
Now we seriously scientists are in search of wearable kidney, where the Crips kidney, artificial kidney can be installed in their body, and 24/7 it will do a dialysis.
Correct.
So
Yes.
these machines, dialyzer, vascular access things will
Yes.
become the things of past. Then probably we are getting to solve the donor recipient gap. That is main reason for not getting many patients getting transplanted.
Yes.
So maybe genetically engineered xeno kidneys or pig's kidney, which is closest, or maybe a stem cell research in which we will prepare kidney for that particular unfortunate man in a lab and will install or will incorporate that kidney in patient's body. So this kidney will work as its own kidney, and therefore the problem of immunosuppression, rejection, things like that will not be a problem. So I'm sure not my lifetime or our lifetime, we may see, we may not see, but down the line there is a bright thing future to all kidney patients, and we continue to. One of the most important thing is that remember you deliver quality dialysis to patients, because otherwise under dialysis complications, not getting to cation V or urea clearance and compromising on everything, will lose the importance of dialysis. So be aware, work on it, do a good dialysis, get yourself trained, read a lot of things and innovation, look after quality issues as she's saying, and hope you all the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you once again, and see you all next time with the next podcast. Remember to like, subscribe, and share our channel and enjoy these podcasts. Thank you. नेफ्लॉन का नया कोर्स एडवांस्ड क्लिनिकल इमरजेंसीज एंड नॉन इमरजेंसीज इन डायलिसिस है। इसमें डायलिसिस से जुड़ी कॉम्प्लिकेशंस को डिटेल में समझाया गया है, जो सीनियर टेक्नीशियंस, आरएमओस और डॉक्टर्स के नॉलेज को एनहांस करेगा। कोरेप ट्रस्ट द्वारा 1200 रुपए का डिस्काउंट सिर्फ पहले 200 डायलिसिस प्रोफेशनल्स के लिए है। इस कोर्स को 1499 के बदले आप इस स्पेशल ऑफर से सिर्फ 299 में खरीद सकते हैं। तो आज ही खरीदिए इस कोर्स को, और अधिक जानकारी के लिए नेफ्लॉन ऐप को डाउनलोड कीजिए प्ले स्टोर से।